Data. It's the lifeblood of every organization on Earth. Data allows an organization to understand who its constituents or customers are and attributes about them. Every organization relies heavily on its data to make operational decisions every minute of every day. Technology advancements make it easier than ever to collect data, analyze it, and interact with it. However, if the data is incomplete, inaccurate, or otherwise dirty, how can intelligent decisions be made?
It estimated that due to data quality issues alone, U.S. businesses were spending $600 billion a year.
There's a lot of different ways that data gets dirty. Some of it is perfectly innocent. You know, someone types in something wrong, they hear something wrong, people move.
So as companies go through merger and acquisition activities, or as companies grow their online businesses, more and more data comes in from more and more data sources.
If you can't get good information about who's your biggest customer, what are we really selling to that customer, who are our best customers, how many ways are they doing business with them. If you can't get answers to those, which depend on information quality and entity resolution, then you really can't be very effective as an organization.
When you add fraud to the mix, it increases the chances that you're going to have variation in that data because people are purposely trying to hide their identity, mask their relationship with other people.
Fraud's a huge business. It turns out that roughly 10% of all revenues for property and casualty insurance companies is fraud.
We have a global problem with compliance. We have a global problem with social services fraud. We have a global problem with national security, with lottery fraud, with insider trading.
I think every business has to be on guard against fraud every minute of the day, especially as things become ever more digital. The person coming in over your website may not be who they say they are.
One repository you have an employee, in another one you have a customer, in another one you have a known shoplifter. Are those different people? Are those the same people? If they're different people, are they related?
You must have intelligent data matching on things like names, cultural variations and misspellings, or intentional crafting of names, addresses, telephone numbers, cities, states, postcodes, on and on and on.
Let's look at an example. At first glance, these two records appear to be two completely different people, but IRE reveals a different story. IRE knows that Shelley is a common nickname for Michelle, and O'Brien is a common misspelling of O'Brien. It also recognizes that the addresses with transposed apartment numbers are likely matches. IRE also knows that Manhattan and New York are common synonyms for cities, just as hazel and green are statistically significant matches for eye color. IRE also picks up that the passport fields are virtually the same except for a couple of transposed digits. It also recognizes common visual scan errors, such as an S and a 5, 13 and B, and 1 and I. Finally, IRE qualifies the results of a search by applying a post-processing scoring mechanism that filters out records from the candidate results set that have disqualifying or contradictory attributes, while highlighting linked and shared attributes among candidate records. Infoglide's identity resolution engine uses over 50 patented algorithms, ranging from variations in names and addresses to cultural differences in spelling and variations on color descriptions. These algorithms are used to assess degree of similarity and return a scored result indicating the likelihood that certain entities are a match. Clearly, this sophisticated matching capability is extremely powerful. Infoglide's solution goes much deeper. IRE applies analytical logic to understand where non-obvious relationships exist between individuals and entities. Using similarity matching, IRE determined Michelle O'Brien and Shelley O'Brien are likely the same person. Let's take that example a couple of steps further. Using relationship resolution, we can also determine that Michelle O'Brien and Shelley O'Brien are connected to John Doe. Michelle's phone number appears in John's phone log, and interestingly, Shelley and John have sequential cell phone numbers. IRE reports that John has a non-obvious but statistically relevant relationship to Michelle and Shelley. These relationships can be viewed either as scored matches or as graphical representations that can be drilled into and analyzed further.
And so that's really an advanced application of identity resolution, is to not only know who someone is from a corporate or individual perspective, but to know who they know and what to do about it.
The third level of a good engine is what is the determination of what does that mean? What does it mean that Joe Smith and Mary Smythe know each other? It's very domain specific. If you're trying to keep bad people off of airplanes, and one of those, Joe Smith or Mary Smythe, is a suspected or known terrorist, a good rule, a good decision would be to perhaps keep the other one off of an airplane, at least until you've done some additional checking.
So even though we think of information quality and entity resolution bringing value in terms of cleaning things up, in the bigger picture, the value is that it makes organizations more effective in their decision making and pursuing their strategic goals.
So, what's Infoglide Software? Infoglide Software is a technology company. We have the most advanced entity and identity resolution technology in the world. It's patented. Its application is across many industries, many critical applications. Infoglide Software's technology is the gold standard for entity and identity resolution in the business today.
Infoglide is the leader in identity resolution and entity analytics. For the fastest integration, easiest use and customization, responsive support, and lowest cost of ownership, Infoglide is your trusted partner. Please visit www.infoglide.com for a test drive today.